Avengers Assemble. Welcome back to Sanders Presents. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing, please consider following that link in the description below to assemble with us on Patreon. Become a sponsor today and join our Avengers. We have two tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. At that $5 tier, you become an Avenger Premium member, and your name is added to this wonderful Hall of Fame with these other lovely, lovely people. In addition to that, Avenger Premium members are granted monthly comic drops. So I hope you're enjoying your comics. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for your sponsorship and for making the content of this channel possible. Legitimately, thank you. So, spoiler-free review of The Batman. No spoilers whatsoever. Not diving into stories. Who lives, who dies, ending, nothing. So again, you're free to check it out. Brief, open, honest thoughts. That's it. In short, I adore it. It has finally dethroned my favorite Batman film, The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, 2008, The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan, Heath Ledger Joker, Two-Face, Scarecrow was in that as well. But it has absolutely dethroned that. I feel like in terms of performance, this feels so definitive for a generation of kids. I feel like this really is going to be something that this is their Batman. I mean, and honestly, it's mine. Robert Pattinson, this is, I mean, like, he gives a definitive performance. Like, I mean, I legitimately feel like he is the best Batman we've had. Like, he is up there. Like, he is 100% up there with Michael Keaton, who I previously have given the honors to. Robert Pattinson delivers an impeccable, definitive performance. Paul Dano as the Riddler, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Colin Farrell as the Penguin. These are all incredibly iconic, definitive. Just in this performance, immediately we have something so genre-defining in terms of the comic book medium. I feel very, very strongly that for me, this is going to be so hard to top in terms of the best comic book movie of the year, right? Just comic book movie. I mean, the year has started off very strong. This is, I don't know if anything can rival this, in my opinion. I don't know if anything will be able to topple this. Again, this is subjective. This is my opinion. I am just letting you know how much I legitimately adore it. I wanted more of this, which again, I'm so thankful that we're getting these spinoffs and that we're getting more films because it needs it, because I want more time in this universe. Gotham feels so rich and immersive and believable. It takes everything that was so brilliant about Nolan and about Tim Burton, and it meshes it to an unbelievable degree, because there is a sense of the fantastic. I mean, and not in a ridiculous way. It's not Adam West Batman. It's not Joel Schumacher Batman. It's not even as wild and, as outlandish as, Tim Burton's Batman. But Gotham feels so rich and unique and vibrant to a level that I don't feel like Christopher Nolan's did. I mean, so there is a level of groundedness, absolutely, but there is also a level of, it's a heightened realism to an even greater degree. It's elevated that much more. And the characters, in my opinion, again, this very strong detective story, the really haunting narrative, the creepy atmosphere of some of the characters, I'll put it that way. It's so brilliantly done. The world building is so genius that you can see how they can build so much out of this. And you can even start to see signs of potentially what that year one HBO Max Gotham, kind of Gotham PD series could potentially be based on, because you get senses of certain details. You get a sense of certain history. And it's really going to be exciting to explore this. I mean, like, legitimately, I could see, I mean, between the series, and I see this going on for more than 3 films, I really do believe, like, this is truly something special. And I have to say, this is so close to the version of Batman that I've always wanted to see on screen. It is honestly 98% there, and the ending promises that next 2%. Okay? I mean, like, the missing 2% is promised, for me anyway. It's just so good. The costume design, the character design, even for this, what you haven't seen, it is so brilliantly, unexpectedly, unabashedly a love letter to the Batman mythology. It is so delicate and so carefully crafted, and it is legitimately beautiful. It is one of the most beautiful comic book movies I've seen, and I am so excited to see it again so that I can kind of immerse myself in it more, because then it might just be the most beautiful comic book movie I've ever seen. It is so close to being a perfect comic book movie. Really. I'm like, legitimately. There are, as a fan, things that I could look at and go, I would have done that differently. You know, I would have liked to seen it adapted this way. But still, at the end of the day, there is so much about this film that feels like a chapter 1. And it feels like we have just taken our first steps into this universe. And I hope it stays isolated. I really do. I hope that Matt Reeves gets to make just a Batverse, and nothing else touches it, because I don't want anything else to touch this. I've said it before, and I feel very strongly about this. I truly believe with Batman, his rogues gallery, and his supporting cast, he can operate in his own corner just like Spider-Man can from Marvel. He doesn't need anything else. I stand by that, and I feel very strongly about it. And I don't want this Batman compromised. I really want to just live in this heightened reality, very noir driven, very atmospheric, very vibrant, and very character driven world. Because the relationship between Bruce and Batman is very interesting here, and is explored in a very interesting way, and I'll leave it at that. But I appreciated the direction that they took. I think it is a very modern perspective. I think it takes a very interesting eye of detail to look at the Batman mythology and mix and condense certain things into this, nearly 3-hour film. And it does it so well. And so, yeah, I'm going to gush. I really am. It's been a while. I mean, like, it's been a long time, because my favorite comic book movie was The Dark Knight in 2008. Nothing's ever topped that for me. My favorite Batman movie, thereby extension, was The Dark Knight. That's never been topped for me. And it has now. The Batman rose to that task. Because it checked so many boxes of, this is what I want, this is what I want to see, this is what I want to see Batman do, this is kind of the character I want to see represented. And after being so disheartened after the Snyderverse, which I was not a fan of, to really get laser focused and to have this genuine emergence. I mean, it's elevating. It really is. It's elevating. It's exciting. It's thrilling. And it's just, it feels good. I mean, you walk out of the theater, I mean, you feel good, because, like, you've had a comic book experience that you might not get again this year, in terms of what they've done with this first film, in terms of just really capturing the essence of it so perfectly. And again, I love Batman. Batman is my favorite DC character, and Batman rivals my favorite Marvel character, which is Spider-Man. Like, they're always neck and neck. Like, Batman, Spider-Man, you ask me the day of the week, it's going to be, but it's always like, they're right at each other, because of the rogues gallery, because of what they do. And I also appreciated, I don't know, I mean, you could see, I have to speak very carefully, but, like, you can even see, like, where Matt Reeves is taking from the metaverse of Batman, whether it's, the Adam West series, and I look forward to talking about that more once we do a spoiler video and we can kind of dive into why I feel the way I feel about that. But I'm gonna have to leave that alone. You might catch it, like if you grew up watching Adam West Batman. I did, TV land. But if you grew up watching that, you might catch some of it, or maybe you might be in the same headspace as I was. I don't know, but like I just there's just certain things that just it's so giddy. But the film like treats it so authentically, so seriously, so brilliantly. I mean, it's hard to say who steals the show because I can think of Colin Farrell, you don't recognize the performance, everything. In my opinion, even beyond, comic book movie, that's Colin Farrell's Oscar worthy. The makeup is Oscar worthy. Paul Dano as Eddie Nashton, oh good Lord, it's just impeccable. Like, these are really high quality cinematic performances. This elevates itself. Zoe Kravitz as Selena, like, my God, they just do so much with this film. I just adore it immensely. So I loved it. I loved it. Andy Serkis as Alfred. I mean, and again, there's various pieces, of screen time, and I would have liked to have seen certain characters have more screen time, but that's just how much I loved them. Like, the film is paced brilliantly. You get lost in those 3 hours. They never cheapen the film by convenience or by a very weak story, not in my opinion anyway. In terms of a comic book thriller, noir, detective story, they hit every mark. They absolutely achieve what they set out to do, and I am ready for more. So yeah, this has officially done it. This has dethroned The Dark Knight. It's crazy to say Dark Knight's number 2 now though, but that's still really, in my opinion, that's really high praise. That's the highest praise I can give it. This is an experience. If you can go in spoiler free, I urge you to, because there are moments here that you don't want ruined. There are moments here you don't want to read somebody or watch somebody just tell you offhand. You really don't want that. I truly, truly believe that you need to go in with a clean slate to experience this fully and immerse yourself in the story that they're crafting and in the universe that they've crafted. Take it in and appreciate it because it deserves that. It truly does, because it is that brilliantly done. I applaud the work that WB, Matt Reeves, and the entire cast and crew, what they managed to put together during an incredible, unprecedented crisis. This is a watermark. Just like Batman Begins started the modern trend. I mean, we wouldn't have the MCU if it wasn't for Batman Begins. The Batman is now setting a new standard. And again, it's fitting that it's Batman that does it. He does it every time. 1989, 2005, 2022. He comes around and he sets it for a generation. That's just it. He just comes around, he sets it, makes a point. The Batman sets the standard, and now he's done it again, this character has, and WB has. And they truly have something special with this cast and this crew and this team, and I don't want them to lose any of them. It is impeccable. It is a masterpiece. It is essential viewing if you are a comic book fan, because this is going to set the standard, hands down. So, to my Avengers, thank you so much for your support and for making this content possible. If you are willing and able, please consider following that link in the description below to assemble with us on Patreon, become a sponsor, and join our Avengers today. And while you're down there in the description, please check out our Discord. We have an invitation link in the description below. Join our Discord. We have an amazing community, and we would love to have you join us. Finally, also down there below is a link to my debut science fiction novel, 89 Instrument of Destruction. It is available now through Amazon, and you can order your copy today by following that link. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. I really do appreciate it. Please like this video if you haven't, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share our content with your friends. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. Above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a marvelous day. Bye, everyone.